Hello everyone, this is Pingvinmamman at Pingvinmammans kreativa hörna, my creative corner here on YouTube. I do most of my tutorials in Swedish, but as I have a lot of friends in international groups, I decided to try to make this voiceover. If you follow me on Instagram, Pingvinmammans, you will find the hashtag 5 minutes crafting. These are projects that I make that takes approximately 5 minutes per item to make. This is because I love to create, but unfortunately I don't have that much energy to make longer projects as it is for now. I hope to be able to do that in the future. Anyway, that's about me. Today's project will require a double-sided 12 by 12 inch paper. I have chosen a Christmas paper as Christmas is coming, but you can do this for any season, any reason, depending on which paper you choose to use. I'm taking these very boring fabric made triangular matchboxes and I'm going to make them pretty enough to give away for a gift or have standing on your own Christmas table or what season it is. Okay, so I need these things. I need a pair of scissors. I definitely need my bone folder and a wet glue. I don't recommend you using any other glue than wet glue. Okay, so let's get started. We will cut this 12 by 12 inch paper in 3 pieces, measuring 3 3/4 by 4 7/8 of an inch to begin with. I do cut off this branding strip first, of course. And this one you will set aside. Don't throw it away because look what we got here. We've got sentiments. Okay? So let's now cut the rest of the pieces off. Right? 3 3/4. And I'm turning this one because I want this part to be part of my matchbox, and we will have a little piece left over, so that's why I'm turning this way. Okay, so let's just cut these pieces. All right, and now we have that strip as I told you. Set that aside for later. Okay, and we have these 3 strips measuring 3 by 3 3/4, and we're going to cut them down to our 4 7/8 pieces. And this is also important to turn the paper if you want to have the corner parts as part of your projects. So you get this little piece here that you're going to set aside again because you are going to use up basically every single piece of this 12 by 12 paper. That is something I really love about this craft, that you can use up an entire paper to the single smallest piece, and I'm going to show you how, right? So I'll just cut these pieces. I just love this paper, isn't it? It's just gorgeous, very vintage. So set those pieces aside as well. And well, now we have our pieces. We can put the scoreboard. No, sorry, we can take the paper trimmer away. We won't need it anymore in this project. Oh, we might, but you know. Now take your wet glue. This is not my favorite glue, but I have bought it, so I have to use it up. It is quite hard to get anything out of this bottle, so I do apologize for the fact that it will be seen in this video how I have to try it on. I have taken a pin to open up my bottle because it always gets stuck in this one, but with a little pin you can open this up easily, so that's a tip to use a little pin. Okay, so now you take and hold this, and don't hold any of your fingers on the side that you're going to cover. Keep your fingers out of there, and then you start with a little bead of glue in the edges, because it's really important that we get this to stick nicely at the edges. Okay, so you start with a little frame here with your wet glue. This is tricky. This glue is not the best glue, but okay, it works. It's nothing wrong with the glue, it's just to get it out of the bottle. Okay, and then just cover with some small beads all over this side of the matchbox. This is so easy to make. Now take one of your pieces that you cut here and place it on your matchbox. And look at how pretty this is. It's full of a motif and everything. Now this is the reason why you're going to use wet glue actually, because you can move it so it sticks perfectly. If you had a double-sided adhesive and you put it wrong, well, you have to basically throw that paper away. Now press this one first so we get it to stick, and this is very important. Now you must use the bone folder so that you really get the paper stuck on our matchbox. It's a little bit glossy, so be firm with your bone folder. Okay, we're just gonna press that so it sits nicely. Okay, and then we turn this matchbox to the other side, and you can see there is a little left over here that we just can snip off. I'm using a pair of scissors that I'm not particularly afraid to get some glue on, and that's what I'm recommending. Okay, so you can see now that everything's in order, right? You're going to do the exactly same thing here now on the other side of your matchbox. So you take your glue again and just glue this little bead of glue as a frame to begin with, and then cover the middle. Take the other piece that I want to also have as a back, the back of this, and I'm doing the same thing, putting it on, pressing a little bit with my fingers the edges, and move the paper so it gets just right. Okay, and then snip off these little strips that got over. So, and then go over this with your bone folder so it gets nice and stuck. okay. You don't want to underestimate this step. It is really crucial. So take your time with this, okay? So you have a front and a back on this. And it was very, very easy to do. So I'm thinking this one has actually a very, 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 very good picture already. So I don't think I should do too much with that. I got a little there. So, okay, I can snip off some of the edges here that I can see now. Just snip it off with your scissors, okay? Isn't it just so pretty? I love these papers, actually. So, as I said before, these are very boring. And with this paper, 12 by 12, we're going to get 3 matchboxes. So, it's very, very, very nice. So, speeding this up and just so here we are, 3 matchboxes dressed with paper. Okay, this one is so pretty as it is itself, so I won't do much with this one. Okay, putting that aside, and now going to take these beautiful 2 that we got. Okay, you know what your front is and what your back is. That's you have to decide. And now it's time to take out these leftover pieces that you have and see what you can do. And this is why I recommend a double-sided paper, because the sides will match each other in colors and you will be able to use up. So here, take this little strip that we got, remember, and I'm going to cut it to match the matchbox, 4 7/8. I'm folding this in half. I really don't need to use any tools for this because it's such a small and narrow strip, so I'm just going to fold it in half, right? Like this. Then I'm taking the wet glue again and I'm going to make sure I get on both sides of the paper fold. Fairly generous with the glue, and just then place it on top of matchbox and press with your fingers, press really hard so it sticks. And cut off any excess that comes along there. Just snip it like that. So this is really, really decorative already. Then I'm taking these pieces. I'm wondering, can I use them for something? We did save this little branding strip, as I told you, because here we got sentiments on this one. And I want to use that on my matchboxes. You can even use the branding strip if there's something good on it. Okay. Here I actually get 2 sentiments. Christmas stars and forever Santa. So that's great. I'm going to mat this on this little strip that we got as leftover, right? Christmas stars. And maybe, I don't know. It's a little bit lonelier, I think. It matches the top, but still it gets a bit empty, I must say. So, nah, I don't know. Doesn't matter how I put it, it's still empty. It needs something more. And there are no images or anything on these pieces either, so that I can use. So now this is a step that is pretty optional, but I have a lot of ephemera made and bought, and I don't know. I like this Santa, but I don't know. Oh, that was too big. Okay, let's see. The style actually matches the paper very well. So now I'm taking one of these leftover pieces that I had that we set aside, and I'm just gonna mat that on this image with a little bit of wet glue. Keep using the wet glue throughout the whole project. So let's see, mat that with a nice little border, and go over with my bone folder to make it stick properly, right? Going to cut a piece off, but I'm not going to throw that piece away either. As I told you, we're going to use up every little piece here. So now let's put this one on the matchbox. Let's see what we can do. I think this will be perfect, really. It fills up, doesn't it? It fills up very nicely. So again, don't forget the bone folder, because I really don't want to press too hard either with my hands, because I could deform the matchbox and that would be a disaster. Now I can take this Christmas stars that we made, and I'm going to place that as a sentiment on the matchbox. It's going to be perfect, and I like to put it a little bit on the diagonal. I think that creates a bit of interest. So that's done, and we go for the third and last matchbox. Okay, so what do I want? I still do want some of that, and it still works great. So I'm going to use this one on this one too. Snip it off like that, unfold it in half, just like we did before, okay? Oh, great. On the wet glue again. It's better to be generous at this stage. So I'm gonna put a lot of glue in there. Okay, and we do the same thing. We're putting it on the top here, pressing with our fingers, because up here we can't really deform the matchbox. But if we deform it in the bottom, well, you can't get the matches out, so that is would be annoying, of course. But then, look, just putting this one on makes it so much better, I think. So now, I'm taking this tag that I had, because I still think that Santa does match, but I don't want the tag. No. So I'm going to cut this off and take that off. I just want the Santa and this. Well, not quite straight, so okay. And then we're just gonna mat this one as well, because we have another piece that we can mat that on, right? Remember? So I want to use it wisely, so I get lots of pieces left over, but in this case I will still use it. But you know how it is, you don't want to get pieces that you need to just throw away, if you ever do that, of course. So we're taking this one, it's matted with this lovely backside of the paper. I just love them, as I probably said before. Okay, and now we're going to put this one on this matchbox, right? So glue, glue, glue. We have this other piece on the branding strip, Forever Santa. I'm going to use that now. Don't forget to look at these branding strips, because they can be a gold mine for sentiments. So never throw them away until you're sure that you can't use any part of that. The little part we cut off is not enough, but we got this one. It's just perfect. If I snip this just a teeny tiny bit, I will fit on this piece. Just to be sure, take some glue. Okay, this way I get a tiny border, just enough to mat this sentiment. Alright, so the third matchbox is also made. 3 matchboxes in like no time. And still, I've got some pieces left over. Let's see what we got. Got this piece here, this piece here. We got a little small piece here, which actually contains a little image. And I promised you we were not going to throw anything away. So here we're making a little bit of ephemera on this. Then I'm going to turn this one. I'm going to cut a tag from this. Just going to use the stars diagonals in this case, and I will get the perfect corners. Then I'm going to see if I can place this. So we're making a tag of this. I'm only going to finish this off by taking my hole punch here and make a little hole. And there you go. Now we got a nice tag as well. So from this 12 by 12 inch paper that we started out with, we got these pieces here, making 3 triangular matchboxes and a tag, and we have basically no leftovers at all. No leftovers. We used every single piece of the paper. Isn't that just great? I love that because I have so much papers and I don't want to keep getting scraps. And this project don't give me any scraps at all because I am using up every single piece of it.